The data battle strikes in the heart of U.S. Chinese strategic competition and has the potential to change the world's economy over the next few decades, especially because everything from cars to medical devices to even home appliances now transmits data. Utilizing that information is the key to dominating technology such as artificial intelligence that will drive modern economies, and also important for exploiting weaknesses in strategic enemies. That is why policymakers in the US are focusing on several companies in the data space that dominates their field. No company is more prolific than DJI in the drone world. The Chinese firm controls more than 50% of the US drone market. On December 16, 2020, the United States government added 8 companies to its non-SDN Chinese Military Industrial Complex Companies list, NSCMC. The world's largest consumer drone manufacturer, Shenzhen Dejiang Innovations, DJI, was among the companies added to the list. This list is the executive order that focuses on threats from securities investment that finance certain companies from China. Although it does not ban the purchase or sale of certain DJI drones, it forbids U.S. citizens to buy or sell publicly traded securities related to the company, as well as other companies on the list. For various reasons, the U.S. government wants to ensure that investment money is not placed in certain Chinese companies. Why was DJI placed on the list? According to the Department of Treasury, DJI operates in the surveillance technology sector of the economy. Furthermore, they provided drones to the Xinjiang Public Security Bureau, which maintains supervision on the Uyghur minority population in Xinjiang, and because of this DJI was later accused in July 2020, of involvement, directly or indirectly in a serious abuse of human rights to the Uyghur minorities. Blaming DJI and 7 other tech companies for supporting the biometric tracking and surveillance of Uyghurs, the U.S. Treasury Department added them to an entity list, which is a list of entities suspected of having a Chinese military link. This list prohibits U.S. suppliers from exporting products to DJI, without exemption, as it has been judged to be a threat to national security by the Department of Defense. More than 900 U.S. public safety agencies use DJI products. This is not the first time DJI faces scrutiny from the U.S. government. In 2018, the U.S. Department of Defense, DoD, began to ban all commercial drones. Although the ban was not explicitly intended for DJI, the company, given its share of the market, produced most drones used by defense personnel. When other government institutions began to follow suit with DoD, the position of the U.S. government stiffened, and now specifically calls out DJI. For example, in a statement released in July 2021, DoD said, its position is that the system produced by DJI has a potential threat to national security. National security concerns about DJI drone has started since at least 2017, when a document from U.S. customs authorities claimed that drones likely provide China with access to critical infrastructure and law enforcement data. DJI critics warn that the drone maker could be aiding Chinese spying on critical infrastructure, feeding sensitive data to the Chinese intelligence on all things ranging from bridges and dams to personal information such as heart rates and facial recognition. In 2019, the former president, Trump, signed a bill barring the U.S. military from buying Chinese-made drones and drone components. In September, a Republican-Democratic House duo worked to slam DJI for human rights reasons, accusing the DJI of dropping prices for consumer drones by as much as 70% to capture 77% of the American consumer drone market. The U.S. Army Research Division, along with the U.S. Navy, has reportedly prohibited its personnel from using DJI drones. According to the memo acquired by UAS News, a site devoted to the business of unmanned air vehicles, the Pentagon directs its staff to stop all use, delete all DJI applications, remove all batteries/storage from devices, because increasing awareness of cyber vulnerability related to DJI products. Another reason for the fear was because DJI said in the past that it would cooperate with demand from the Chinese government to submit customer drone data if it considered it to be a legitimate request. However, the company cannot provide a kind of live look into drone camera feed throughout the world for the Chinese government. Chinese law allows its government to force DJI to help in espionage activities. Chinese firms have long had to compete with blowbacks from suspected or realties with the Chinese government when trying to conduct business in the West. It has become a problem in the US for the Chinese telecommunications company Huawei, which according to the US military has relations with the Chinese military itself, and has barred the company from selling its flagship smartphones in the US, until a while ago. In January 2020, the US Department of Interior announced a temporary grounding of all its 800 Chinese drones, made in China or built with Chinese parts, until it can confirm they rise to security threats. DOI uses its drone to battle wildfires and in monitoring wildlife, dams, and volcanoes. DOI grounding comes a year after the Homeland Security Department warned about DJI drone, saying in a statement that the United States government has strong concerns about any technology products that take American data into countries that enable intelligence agencies to have unrestricted access to that data. However, the Department of Agriculture and Office of Management and Budget raised warnings against Congress legislation which would make it impossible for the United States government to buy Chinese drones at all. The Ministry of Agriculture, which uses drones to survey farmlands, for example, says it can limit its ability to carry out its work. The prohibition can create problems for government users because DJI dominates the global market for small and low-altitude drones used by photographers, and many businesses and government agencies because there are not many affordable and reliable options. DJI has repeatedly denied the allegations. While the company does not comment on the latest developments, it did refer to its response to Sanctions 2020, by saying that it did not do anything to justify being placed on an entity list because it was always focused on the building of products aimed at saving lives and benefiting the society, and that the company and employees remain committed to providing their customers with the most innovative technology. DJI said in a statement on its website that it takes its customer data's privacy very seriously, and continues to take steps to improve data security in many ways. It also claimed that it doesn't access flight logs, photos, or videos produced during drone flights except customers choose to share the data. DJI has tried to calm the fear of Trump's administration by moving some of its production to California and introducing a version strictly for government users. In a statement, DJI said it supports developments to relieve security concerns about drones, instead of all-out prohibitions on Chinese products. They are the protectionist tactics to remove successful competitors in favor of non-existent domestic suppliers. Federal officials who support the ban have little understanding of how professionals use drones to do their work, and cannot explain how to use drones to manage forest fires, support the conservation of wildlife and monitor forest health places the country's security at risk. Will the DJI ban affect consumers? Although it is too early to find out how much of an impact the ban will have on DJI's exposure to the consumer drone market in the United States, the UAV pilots, especially those flying drones for commercial use, may want to consider other options. Takeaway: the inclusion on the NSCMC list is a blow for the drone manufacturer, one that can cause a greater loss of its market share. One fixed question, however, is, will the US domestic drone manufacturers become a more significant player in 2022? There is a good possibility. If that is the case, then we should be expecting to see more innovations in design, and leveling of the playing field as the ability of the competitors of DJI improves. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like the video, you must press the like and subscribe button. And let us know your valuable feedback by commenting below the video.